Baby, let's go. Alabama anthem. Don't throw your hands up. Put up your onion. I ain't talking about Atlanta. I'm talking about the ham. I'm talking about the bill. A-L-A-B-A-M-A. This what I live. Alabama while I was born. Alabama where I'm from. Alabama anthem. Don't throw your hands up. Put up your onion. I ain't talking about Atlanta. I'm talking about the ham. I'm talking about the bill. A-L-A-B-A-M-A. This what I live. Alabama while I was born. Alabama.
And with that, we say, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. Yes, in case you're wondering, new haircut. But we're not here for that. We're here to talk today. Number 2, Alabama Crimson Tide, undefeated, going on the road in the SEC, which we know is very tough, against a hungry and upset number 20 Arkansas Razorback team, right? You, hold on. Let me let this load. Give me a second. Yeah. You have a hungry Arkansas team coming off a 23-21 loss to the Texas A&M Aggies. That was a great game, down to the wire finish. Arkansas, they're hungry for more. I think they're out to prove something this year, that they are one of the big boys in college football, and especially in the SEC. And to do that, they got to win against Alabama. If they had won last week, they could afford a loss here and run the table. But since they lost last week, if they lose this game, that makes it their second loss in second straight. And by the way, much like Tennessee, Arkansas has yet to beat Alabama. They've competed, but they've yet to beat Alabama under Nick Saban, at least from my research and from my memory. They play each other this week on the 3:30 CBS game, 2:30 Central kickoff time. This is at Arkansas. I will not take this game lightly. I also will not be live for this game because I think it will interfere with my work schedule. So we're going to do we're going to end up doing a noon game. I haven't decided yet, but when you look at this game, I'll go ahead and pull up the stats and everything, the matchup predictor, and we'll get into it, man. So let's see. All right. You look at this game, and I think this is more so no disrespect. Like, I don't think ESPN putting this out, what I'm fixing to read and what you see on your screen, I don't think it's a dig or a bust at Arkansas. I think it's more so this is how we feel about Alabama. Alabama comes into this game with a 93.1, counting a 93% chance to win this game and grab a victory. The spread is 17 in favor of the Crimson Tide, and the over-under is 61 points. I definitely will say this, outside of Texas, which turned out different than I thought it was going to be. That was a lot more defense in that game. For Alabama and for Texas, I think this is the first test truly for the Alabama defense. And by the way, an update on Byron Young and Jordan Battle, according to Coach Nick Saban this week, per his presser and via sources from like AL.com and ESPN. Per sources, Byron Young and Jordan Battle are day-to-day and could possibly be game-time decisions. Those are two key players that I think Alabama needs to have to go up against Arkansas. Even though, we've been working with our backups this year and we've kind of seen them take hold a little bit, there's still some guys that can step up. I still think against an offense like this, I think this is where you want to have all your starters and the most experienced guys out there, because Arkansas is fast, high tempo, high flying, hit you in the face with KJ Jefferson and Raheem Sanders. So it's going to be a tough test for the defense of Alabama. When you look at this game, again, I mentioned the matchup predictor. 93.1% chance Alabama wins. The spread is 17 in favor of the Crimson Tide. So I think the question, let me put it to you like this. I think the big matchup we want to watch out for in this game is the defensive line against the offensive line of Arkansas, because it's looked good, it's looked okay. It's also had its struggles, right? Arkansas has had its fair share of ups and downs with the offensive line this year. Can Alabama get pressure on Jefferson and stop Raheem Sanders in the backfield? Raheem Sanders has already 508 yards rushing on the year. And KJ Jefferson is having himself a party this year. 941 passing yards. When you look at that, you look at his stats. Really good, clean, solid arm. Can whip it across the field. He's got his receivers. There's even some guys that I'll bring up on the defensive side for Arkansas. And if you remember, they made some noise against Cincinnati. Remember, we went live for that game. Um, Bumper Pool is a big name with 36 tackles. Dwight McLaughlin, try not to butcher his name. He leads the team with 2 interceptions. Also, watch Alabama transfer Drew Sanders has looked pretty darn good with 31 total tackles. He leads the team in sacks at 5.5. With 32 sack yard loss this year. So he's going to be a key outside edge that Alabama's offensive line's got to step up, got to be able to block and give Bryce Young that protection. You know, Bryce does good under pressure. Kind of. I mean, there's quarterbacks that can handle it. There's quarterbacks that can't. I'll say this about Bryce. I love him to death, but as good as he is, he's not invincible. You know, he does have a weakness. You know, if you could get to his blind side and come off the edge and pressure him and have great speed and be fast, that's Drew Sanders. He's going to be a key guy in this game for Arkansas that can get the W or help get the W and help get stops on second, third down, whatever, and put the Alabama offense away. Really, what I'll say is this: Arkansas and Sam Pittman are the up and coming team in the SEC right now. I really believe that. I haven't really looked into their recruiting. I'm not even going to try to go there and act like I know a thing or two. I can't tell you that, but I do believe in Sam Pittman that he can build a great culture and a great program, and I think he already has with the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Woo Pigs. You know, the Woo. I'll do it one time. Woo pig suey. I do it one time right there. All right. I love Arkansas. I love Sam Pittman. I got no hatred, no disrespect. It's just one of those teams that we have to play in the division, really, when you look at it. I mentioned the line is 17. I think we know Alabama's going to win. I think, and I don't say that arrogantly. I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. I'm not trying to be like that. I just think they're the best team right now. Them in Georgia, but definitely one of the best teams. Can Arkansas get the upset? Here's what I'll say. I don't expect Alabama to go undefeated. Now, I think their next test, this is a tough stretch. Let me pull this up, and we'll look at it. Their schedule, Alabama, they're coming off the Vanderbilt game, right? They have at number 20 Arkansas this week. They play 17 A&M at home next week. And then they got to go to Tennessee and Knoxville for the third Saturday game, right? So it's a tough stretch, right? They could go 3-0, which I think is likely. I'll tell you what they won't do. They will not blow out all three of those teams. Not a chance. Somebody's going to give them a game in this stretch right here. Because that's back to back to back. That's a tall task for the Crimson Tide. Arkansas, A&M, and Alabama. Arkansas, A&M, and Tennessee, for Alabama. That's a 3-game stretch right there that they've got to be on point. They got to bring their A game. They got to get the defense intact. Got to get it clicking. Got to get it going. And they have this year. I'm very proud of what I've seen from the Alabama defense. The offensive line had some issues against Texas. It's cleaned it up since then. They're going to be facing some guys. They're going to be facing some SEC opponents and some SEC defenses that are going to give them trouble. They got to set their game up on the offensive line. As for this game, because let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, folks, right? Arkansas and KJ Jefferson, very high flying offense, fast tempo, hit you in the mouth. Raheem Sanders, he's good. Matt Landers is a lead receiver with 230 yards, I mentioned. He's not the only guy. They got Jaden Hazelwood. He's not too far off from what Matt Landers is doing. He's got more receptions, leads the team in receptions. He also has 2 touchdowns, which is the most of any receiver. They got a couple guys like that. Watch out for Trey Knox, the tight end. Watch out for Ketron Jackson. Look out for Warren Thompson. I mean, these are guys that Alabama's secondary, which is not 100% healthy. I'm not here to make excuses or anything like that. I'm not going to do that. But there are some guys that are day-to-day, as I mentioned. Jordan Battle's struggling a bit, and I think he's definitely a leader for the secondary. But we got Eli Ricks. He seems fully healthy. The whole secondary's got to be on point in this game because these receivers are speedy, they're fast, they know how to get the football in their hands, they know how to take it to the house for a touchdown. Got to play a good base defense. Got to get after KJ Jefferson. Just got to be quick on defense in this game, Alabama. And I think that they can. I think that they will. I'm really confident in Alabama. I think that Texas game, even though it was week 2, and you can say whatever you want to, I don't know. I feel like maybe it was a wake-up call for the offensive line. So it's going to get better. It's going to be clicking. Bryce is going to be on point. The receivers are going to step up and be on point. The defense was fine in that game, at least in the first half of the game. But, man, I don't know. This is tough. I want to give Arkansas a lot of credit in this game. They're a good team. I'm not sleeping on them. Man. Vegas and ESPN favor Alabama big, 17 points. The over-under is 61. Alabama is scoring 48.3 points a game, where Arkansas is giving up 26 even. Arkansas is also scoring 33.5. Alabama's only allowing a touchdown a game. This is at Arkansas. It's tough on the road to the SEC. It's going to be a loud crowd, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to be packed. Arkansas, Alabama's the better team. But is it possible? Now, I want to hear from you guys as I'm premiering this. If you're watching this, comment in the chat. Is it possible that Arkansas has a little bit of an advantage because they're coming off the Texas A&M loss? I'm not saying they're better than Alabama. I'm not saying they're going to beat Alabama. Alabama's the favorite. Of course they are. This is Nick Saban we're talking about. But just because you're the favorite doesn't mean you have the advantage, right? The upper hand. Arkansas is at home. They're coming off a loss. They got an explosive offense. Everyone seems like they're going to be healthy. Alabama's down a guy or two. Man, y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all understand, I'm sure. This is going to be an interesting and fun matchup. I'm excited. I can't wait. Arkansas, call your hogs. Call them. Do the woo pig suey chant, all that. I think Alabama's going to win. I think it's going to be one of those games where Arkansas keeps it close for 2.5, 3 quarters, and Alabama either pulls away. I'm not saying run the score up, but like they just kind of find a way to extend the lead either in the third or in the fourth quarter. You know, we'll see. Before I get too far ahead of myself, let me go ahead and play this. All right. I do think this is going to be a good game. There's going to be a lot of points scored. The over under, which by the way is like total number of points scored in the game, is 61. Based on my score prediction, I'm actually going to take the over. I'm going to take the over 61. I think it'd be a little more high scoring than we think. I think this is where the defense of Alabama might break a little bit. I think they're playing that kind of offense. And I hope I'm wrong because I want to see the defense. God, I wanted to go out there and just be dominant, be disciplined, point of attack, hit you in the mouth. I want to see that defense from Alabama. But I feel like there's a tipping point. There's a breaking point. There's that team out there. Not that beats Alabama, but breaks Alabama. And I think there's a difference. When you beat a team, you win the game. When you break a team, you say, we know what you've done all year. We can prevent that. We can make it tough on you. You haven't faced us yet. Alabama hasn't faced Arkansas yet. They're fixing to. But, man, they haven't faced KJ Jefferson. They haven't faced Raheem Sanders, Matt Landers, or, Jaden Hazelwood. They haven't faced that yet. There's a lot of potential for Arkansas this year on the offense. I think their defense needs some work. I think it's okay. It's decent. It's there in the middle. But Arkansas's got a lot of potential. They're good. They're hyped up. They're fired up. They're ready to go. That being said, I'll go ahead and give a score prediction. Again, I'm premiering this for you guys. I want to hear from you guys as you're watching this in the chat if you agree, disagree, whatever. I'm going to say, and again, the spread's 17. I don't know. I mean, they cover. You won't. It might not surprise you that I have Alabama winning this game. It also might not surprise you what I'm fixing to give them point-wise. What's probably going to be the surprise, and I'm telling you, don't sleep on what they can do. How many points am I giving Arkansas? I go ahead and I give you my score prediction. I'm going to say 41-23. I mentioned Alabama's going to play big. They're going to play some good defense. I don't doubt that. But, I feel like the score is – I feel like it's going to look worse on paper. You know what I mean? I think the defense on paper, scoreboard-wise, is going to look bad, but it's not going to play that bad. Like, they're going to get some third down stops. They're going to, they'll have a hard time getting off the field on third down sometimes. There's going to be some field goals in there for Arkansas and a couple touchdowns. This is that team. This is that offense. My personal opinion. This is that offense that can give Alabama the game, that can push them over the edge, push them to their limit, make them stronger, and just push the defense. We need this type of game. we. I keep saying we. I'm an Alabama fan. I'm so used to it. Like you roll with the tide, you die with the tide. You know what I'm saying? Like Alabama. Let's just focus on them. I'm sorry that I'm saying we, whatever. Um, Alabama needs a game. Here's what they had. They had a close game that tested their defense and pushed their offense to the limit. The defense carried that Texas game, plus Will Reichert hitting it late. Do they need a breaking point for the offense or for the defense, I should say? Because if you think about it, they had the breaking point against Texas for the offense. The offense was the one struggling out there. Not necessarily Bryce, but guys failing to catch the ball, offensive line, blah, blah, blah. We need that game for the defense at some point. At some point this season, their defense shall be tested. I think it's this game. That could be wrong. I just have a gut feeling it is this game. So we'll give up 23. The offense is going to be phenomenal. 41. That's what I think is going to happen. So Arkansas, I give them a lot of credit. They're going to go out there. They're going to compete. But I think this is where they take another loss here. And their other loss being last week against Texas A&M. Right? And Arkansas is mad. They are. They're mad enough to where they're going to put points up and push the Crimson Tide a little bit. But are they mad enough to where they pull an upset? Are they good enough there? I don't think they're quite there yet. So, we'll see. Anyway, I love y'all. Jesus loves you. I'm going to get out of here. Let me know what you think. Comment your scores, your predictions, your takes. Who should we watch in this game? I mentioned Bumper Pool on Arkansas's defense. You got Drew Sanders. You got some guys, William Anderson, Dallas Turner for Alabama. I spent a little bit more time on the opponent this week just because I think there's a lot of focus on Arkansas. Like we know all about Alabama. We really don't know too much about Arkansas yet. I think we're still learning more about this team. I think that there's a lot to find out about this team. I think this will be a game on Saturday on October 1st, which it feels so great to say that we're in October or fixing to be. This is just going to be that game. We got to find out about Arkansas. What can they do against a powerful defense? Is that offense that good and legit? We'll find out. Love y'all. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here for more sports content to Ballard Sports Media. And until next time, Ballard Sports Media, check it out. Love you guys. We'll see you later. Roll Tide.